All right, gonna put in the new thermostat housing. Basically, here's the old one. It's made out of plastic. You got to look and put this little vent valve at the top of the thermostat housing. Inside there's a little recess. You can barely see, it's kind of crudted up, but you fit that onto there and it will really only go in one way, nice and tight. I've got a new metal thermostat housing, but there's two things to remember. Got the seal here, obviously. It comes with a gasket with the metal one I'm going to put on there, and there's also a seal that goes in this groove around the bottom, as well as on the new one's got a gasket I'm going to put on as well. I'm going to try that. Get the new ones out of the bag. Okay. These should be 8 millimeters. Yep, they are. All right. So the new ones are made, you can get the replacements made out of this metal, which is much more preferred. A couple vendors out there. I think I got mine off of Rock Auto, but I think they're all pretty much made by the same person. Put down my fender cover on this side. All right. Gotta be careful here. Get these bolts out. Kind of just keep them together when I'm taking things apart, so I know where things are when I put them back together. All right. So the new one, it's got this little O-ring seal right here that, just comes in a bag. You just slip it in like that. It's got these little grooves, kind of keeps it in there. And then there's also a gasket that it came with. I'm going to put this on. I don't know if it really does anything, but I've cleaned off the mating surfaces, and of course this surface is brand new. So I'm going to do that, throw this on there, and line everything up on the gasket so it's all nice and lined up. I will put a bolt on each corner to start it, kind of keep it together. Still waiting on my 24 millimeter deep well for the I am going to do this obviously first before I do the intake manifold, because As some of you guys may know, it is very hard to get to the back of these bolts. I don't want to mess around bending wrenches and all the other tricks that people do. I've got crow's feet, but I'd rather they stay in my toolbox. I'm sure the real Jag techs have some tricks where they obviously don't take the intake manifold out unless they're doing the whole job like this. Got the new hoses sitting there ready to go. Just gonna finger tighten them all down. Make sure there's no burrs or anything like that. Plus, this is why I like doing it. Take the time, do it slow. Enjoy it. If you don't like working on a Jaguar, probably shouldn't own one. Okay. I'll check the manual again. I think it said torque down all these bolts 8 to 10 Newton meters. I'm going to double check that there. Yep, 8 to 10 Newton meters. So, since this is metal, we're going to okay, what's going on here? All right, so that 10 Newton meters is 88.5 inch-pounds. So, get my inch-pounds, and I'll go to 88.5. All right. Basically, before we torque it down, this is kind of what it looks like from the back. The manifold covers those back ones pretty good. So that's why we need to do, obviously if you can. If you're going to do this, do it all at once. But nice metal thermostat housing gets rid of the plastic, one less thing to ever have to worry about again. So you can got a metal cap. We'll use that in a minute. I'm going to put that back here and we'll torque it down. Yep. I'm going to drop my socket. That's great. Something fun. There we go. Good grief. All right, so we're all set up, ready to go. Let's torque them down. I'm going to use a crisscross pattern. It didn't specify, but yeah. All right, that's good. Try to keep it vertical, get pure torque on it. Don't torque it to the side or anything like that. Yep. Seems about the right setting. Okay, just gonna go back around, check them all once more. Yeah, like that one had a little bit of a crush down. Some more. Sometimes they, yep, that's good. Yep, all right. Good thing we'll do. This guy's on the front. Down, I'll tighten this one. Same crisscross a little bit if we can. All right, I'll go check them once more. That's good. All right, those are 8 mils, 8 millimeters, 8 to 10 Newton meters, which we determined was, 88.5 inch-pounds. All right, that's on there nice and good. Looks nice. Kind of engine colored. Kind of, maybe Jag should have done this to begin with, right? Yeah, and that'll still leave me good clearance here to tighten down the actual, waiting on that deep well, 3/4 inch deep well, because that one you got to tighten down to like 268, 70 foot-pounds, something like that. And I'll reference it again, but it's nice. All right, so there we go. I'm going to put the cap on. Kind of see the inside. All nice and brand new. Front thermostat housing on. You can see the thermostat in there with the jiggle pin in that little recess. That's where you want it to help it purge air, burp the air out when it's running. Good stuff. All right. All right, so it's got a metal cap. Let's get that out of the box. All right. All right. All right. Next thing is it's got a little metal cap that's going to fit right on top of here, like so. And they were nice enough on the part. This is, man, I love parts like this one. It says right here, torque to 9 millimeters. I know it's probably backwards there, but it says tight torque to 9 Newton meters. So really nice. It's got a little recessed O-ring in there. Nice and clean. So we're going to do exactly that. I've already checked it out. It's a, if I hold up, it's a 10 mil hex socket. Goes right in there. Perfect. So we're going to set this up. And we'll set it up and put it on. So, I'm just going to hand start it. Like so. Yep, nice and good. And 9 Newton meters, when converted, is 79.6 inch pounds. So I'm going to use the same inch pounds. You guys can convert it to foot pounds. I really don't care what you use. I just say torque it to the right spec. So 79.6, I'll almost do 80, come right up there. And I'm just going to torque it down. So get it all ready. All right, it's good. That feels nice and tight on there. All right, not bad. Check it one more time. Yep. And that is 80 inch pounds. Inch pounds, remember, not foot pounds. That thing would twist that off if that was. It's just cast aluminum, so you don't want to crank down on it hard. Okay. All right, to get all the hoses, next thing I do, we're going to start cleaning off the intake ports. That might not be as exciting, but let's see if I can set the camera up. Get a good view. These wires out of the way a little bit. Cam sensors, we're going to need those shortly. Get them out of the way. Okay. Let's see what else I can move out of the way here. Just going to clean the mating surfaces there, get that fuel line out of the way. Here's a Jag Pro tip for you. The plugs, if you order the hoses from Tops online, the plugs for the hydraulic lines fit perfectly in the fuel line to keep radu out of it while you're doing this. So if you save them, if you do the job, this always comes in handy a little bit later. Now that is some Jag madness. Right. I just need to get some throttle body intake cleaner. I don't know. Like I said, I'm superstitious. I don't use like brake cleaner or anything. I make sure I use the right stuff. And what I like to do is just hit it a little bit. And then take a green Scotch-Brite. You don't have to scrub it hard. And I just kind of go in behind it. Just knock the big stuff off, just real light. I mean, you don't have to hit it heavy, bear down on it. I don't want to scratch the metal too bad, anything like that. I just go in there, clean up the big carbon areas, and especially where the mating surface is, and I'll come in behind with a clean rag and hit them when we're all done. Don't want any air leaks. That one's pretty grimy, you can see. It's got a lot of carbon around it. Okay. All right, let's get the other side. Go around here. Step that way. Set this up there. Yeah. You can kind of see how some of these are that gradu on them. Okay, one down. How many more to go? Look down in there, see my valves. It's kind of cool. Yeah, this thing's kind of carboned up a little bit, I think. My suspicions, this was a elderly gentleman that only drove it 18,000 miles and then sold it to another gentleman, and he didn't want to, he found out real quickly what it really needed and decided to get rid of it, and that's where I came in. But I don't think this thing has ever really had a rough life other than the exterior, just paint and sun, Florida sun. It looks like it's all it's done is ever idle. There's definitely some carbon in there. So I think once it's all together and babied for a little bit, I think it might need a small Italian tune-up on the highway at speed with some air breathing rolling over it. Okay, as you can, I don't know if you can see or not, so there's the first two, and then you can see the rings. So obviously camera one, camera two, cleaning off the goop. last one. Can out of the way. Okay. And you don't want to put it back together and get some air. If you're so inclined, get in here. I blasted mine out a little bit, but get the gradu out of there. All right, nice and clean. And just for grins, I like to come behind it with a rag, clean rag, and just, you know, make sure there's not any grit on any of them. The other side here real quick. Nobody wants to go this far. Why not do the whole thing right now? Okay. Okay. So those are nice and clean. So really, I would do the water pump, but again, I don't want that to be in the way. So I think my next step, I'm going to clean up the intake manifold. Got it sitting over there. I'm going to clean up the intake manifold, but I would put the water pump in next. But like I said, I'm waiting on that 3/4 drive, 24 millimeter socket, and I don't want anything getting in the way of that big torque wrench, because that is a monster. You have to torque it down to like 268 foot-pounds or something like that. And I'm going to wait on that job. Wanted to already have it done, but sometimes that is the life of a project. So got it all together. Got my valve covers tightened down. I am going to wait to put the spark plugs and the coils on until I've got it all together, because obviously once I get that torqued down, I'm going to spin the motor over the correct way by hand, just to make sure, once again, nothing's binding, and we pretty much already did that, but wanted to make sure all together. Once it's all together, everything looks good, we'll turn it over. So I'm going to kind of clean up the intake manifold, get that ready, and then of course after that, I've got the new crossover little plastic pipe here. I wish they made a metal version of the crossover pipe that goes under here as well. That would be really nice, but of course they don't. It's the one, I think probably the Achilles heel that's going to be this cooling system now. If I ever have to do anything, it's going to be hopefully be that plastic crossover pipe, but I have a new one. And then really just start putting everything back together. hopefully it will work out right. Fun part I wish I could show better when we put in, I'll try to do my best, is all the plugs and everything for the intake manifold. I mean, there's just so many. There's, you know, the fuel line hose that goes on over the top of it. You got the little hoses there. And then I'll, you know, do my best to show the cooling hoses. The octopus hose, as I showed last time, it's, you go down here, two ends of it connect to the heater pump back there. So two of them. It snakes around the backside of that computer box right here over the top of the transmission. And anybody that replaces on their own, you always have to make sure you clip. There's a zip tie or you'll never get it out. Snakes around, and then there's a hose bib connection there, a metal one that the octopus hose falls, you know, that connects onto right there. I haven't connected it yet. I'm going to. Just wanted to clean. I'm going to clean that up in a little bit. I always like clean up the ends and everything if they're a little corroded. Especially this one. This one lived near the beach, so some of the connections, and as you can see, some of the pieces of the engine are a little bit more surface corrosion, you know, than your normal car. So I'm going to do that. But everything so far, if you follow the book, it's pretty straightforward. All right. But that's nice. That's a nice little upgrade here. Love this. Love this guy. And these hoses too, that if you know, for any, it needs a reference. You got you know, on the driver's side or the left side, they call it. You got this little bent one, and this one's more of a squiggly with the little curving around the crank or cam sensors there. Oh, that's the crank sensor. So it squirrels around that, and then it comes up to the top. That's where it's going to meet that crossover pipe. But pretty straightforward. I'm going to clean up the intake manifold, and we'll go from there. Don't know, I've got some other things to do, so if I do it, I'll stream the rest of the day. If not, see you guys soon.